Welcome to the Lifestyle MD podcast, the show dedicated to busy adults navigating family, career, and the challenges of midlife while striving for lasting wellness. I'm Dr. Angela, and I'm honored to be your guide on this journey. Welcome to this episode of the Lifestyle MD, where the topic is faith and business. Today's conversation explores the power of delegation, faith in business, and the wisdom of knowing when to let go. Join me and my operations manager, Diamond, as we discuss entrepreneurship, healing, and the lessons we can learn from unexpected places.
Most businesses don't make it this far. So celebrating yourself and your accomplishments and also your ability to relinquish things, it's really hard for somebody as an entrepreneur, as somebody who's neurodivergent, and as somebody who's a healer, like you're a doctor, like it's your job to hold on to things and fix them or repair them. But my pastor made a very good point in sermon last Sunday. He said Jesus had 12 disciples and they all had jobs. So if Jesus had to delegate and give somebody else work to do, then what makes us think that we're completely capable of taking on everything on our own? So
that is so good.
Jesus had a bookkeeper, had somebody managing his money.
And giving and money is one of those very personal things.
Right.
In so many ways. And so being able to give someone else the keys to the castle and trust them with that, like, you know, a business is a relationship in a lot of ways, right? It's a very intimate thing. And letting someone into that space and giving them access to the finances requires a lot of trust. And it also requires having security about yourself and your business. And I had to be like, you get to see all of my dirty laundry, what I'm doing well.
For sure.
Doing well, right? Like, ooh.
That's the thing, like, it's a game of perspective. And it's like the perspective in my mind is if I have a bookkeeper, then I'm saying that this is something I'm not capable of. When that's not necessarily true. Like, it's something that I trust I'm trusting that I'm able to make a good decision by allowing someone else to manage this, allowing a professional to do it. So it's like having to lay your burden down as well as exposing yourself at the same time.
Oh, lay your burden down. Oh, goodness. I got booked everywhere. But do I enjoy it and am I good at it? And if I'm not good at it, do I enjoy it enough to get good at it because I enjoy it that much, right? But first, am I good at it and do I enjoy it? I'm not good at bookkeeping and I don't enjoy it. So, whereas editing my podcast, I really enjoy it and I'm good at it. Like, doesn't mean I have to do it, but it's something that it's okay for me to keep. But if anything is no on both of those there's no reason for me to keep doing it myself. I should not be doing it. I'm really excited about that too, because I think it's one of those things. So much is just led, me leaning into God, being receptive to just seeking wisdom and to seeking his divine guidance. Because I tell patients and other docs who are interested in this, I don't think there's a single thing or a single decision, big or small, that I've made in our practice that hasn't been where I've prayed about it and I've sought divine inspiration on deciding the direction, or where I've listened to that. It doesn't come from me, not exclusively internal to me. So this was one of those things where I knew about Spring GR for a long time and I had friends tell me about it, but I've been putting it off. One of those things where I can't even explain it, but it just struck me, hit me over the head.
Right.
And anything that, literally, like just like changing the practice name to Direct Primary Care West Michigan.
I love the logo.
Yeah,
it looks so good.
It does, doesn't it? For you, by the way.
Yay.
It literally hit me over the head, changed the name. And I was like, okay. When I started my practice, it was like, start your practice. And I obey.
Obedience, huge. It's so huge.
And it can be uncomfortable. But, early on in my faith, early on in my maturity, it might have been more uncomfortable, but now it's like easy.
Right.
Because I know if I'm being told to do something, it's what I have to do. And even if I don't see how it's going to work, it's going to pan out the way it needs to.
Absolutely.
It's the best thing. So I'm really excited about this Spring GR thing. I don't know what to do for us, but I know it's going to help provide clarity and growth. And when I started the practice, So the journey, right? It was the lifestyle MD coaching and all that, and the podcast. And then it became Seeds of Health. And I just was going to be just little me, right? And then I acquired Direct Primary Care West Michigan. I got Angela bringing on another doctor. Do I really want to grow? Do I really want to expand? And you talked early on about, growing. I'm like, ooh, I don't feel comfortable. Should I? And now, like, changing the name, and it feels bigger than me, right? It's bigger than me.
Absolutely.
It's so much bigger. And I know that there's more to it, and I just don't know what it is yet. So I'm hoping that this will help solidify that vision.
And you have to remember there's a divine calling on your life.
Yes.
And the fact that you do take the time to pray and think about the things that God is manifesting over your life is just a testament to who you are as a person. But one of the things about the program that you're going to be in, you're not just going to take the information and hoard it or gatekeep, as we like to say. I can see you blessing somebody from what you're learning. And especially with you being where you are in your walk as far as direct primary care, there are a lot of people that come to you for advice. There are a lot of people that come to you for tutelage. So I'm sure and certain that that's one more thing that's going to allow you to bless other people. So it's, again, a lot of the time when we hear these things, we're like, I don't know why I'm feeling compelled to do this, or I don't know what it is pushing me to do this. Faith and obedience go hand in hand with each other. And I feel like the more faithful you are, it's easier to be obedient to that word. And you're on the right path when you do hear those cognitive distortions. Well, what's going to come from this? Am I wasting my time? Because that's the devil trying to plant a seed of doubt.
Yes.
And you already know you just have to continue to power on. Where would we be right now if you had not thought to yourself, okay, I am going to take over direct primary care of West Michigan. I am going to transition from the lifestyle MD of health. Like, you've been able to bless and touch other people in your walk. Not just the people who work for you, but also your patient. And the referrals that we get speaks volumes to that. And just like, for example, the bookkeeper, I always look at it like this. I'm not going to just refer anybody to my hairdresser. Think about that. I have friends that I love them down, but I'm not going to always refer everybody to my hairdresser. And that's not me gatekeeping. That's me knowing the personality of the person who's being referred and the person who's providing the service. So for the people that you've been working with the last 2+ years to feel deeply enough about you and your journey and your mission to refer you to their people, attorneys, bookkeepers, accountants, it speaks volumes to who you are and your purpose in your business.
I actually had a wonderful conversation with a pediatrician. She had lots of questions. And I remember being in that space and having all of that. Well, what about this? What about that? You can tell right from the beginning if someone has reached that pivotal turning point where they get it and they're ready to start the journey. And I've had lots of conversations with doctors who I'm like, this isn't for you. At least not for
right.
you. It's not for you. It's definitely for her. But she's got that doubt. Like, how do I make this work? Is this going to work? And I'm so excited for her. Right? It's not going to benefit me directly in any way, but I get to walk alongside her and help her grow and not only realize a vision or create a vision and then realize it, but also to have freedom and to help pour into other patients. I was talking to her. I said, there's not a day that goes by that I don't, at minimum, like what I do. At minimum, most days I love what I do. Many days I am over the moon and brought to tears of joy that I get to do what I do.
And not a lot of people get to do what they love and love what they do. Yeah. So that's a blessing for sure. And the cool part, again, is as we're approaching tomorrow, the 2-year anniversary, remembering when you were the person on those calls while people were pouring into you, giving you direction, telling you which way to go. So to be able to give that to somebody else. And my favorite part is I told you several times that you need to monetize that. And you're like, absolutely not. I'm giving people the same grace, the same favor that I was given. And that, like I said, it speaks volumes. And I'm wondering, is that one of the things that kind of peeks out to you or speaks to you when people are talking to you about direct primary care, because it is a labor of love? A lot of people don't really understand that some seasons trees don't bear fruit. It's not making money hand over fist. Yes. This is you literally every day waking up, choosing to help people. It's like a marriage. Every day you wake up and you make a choice. And there's lots of other choices out there. There are people that are trying to get you to come back to their healthcare network, people that are trying to get you to do things
All the time, like, hey, we have this opportunity.
exactly calling you against the direction in which you've already been called. So, what is it other than the patience that keeps you going in that purpose driven direction?
I would say one, that it is purpose driven and it's the most fulfilling thing that I've ever done. Like I've spent the majority of my adult life, I feel like searching for something, feeling like I wasn't just all along like, nope, that's not it. Like just feeling like I wasn't walking in my purpose, feeling like I was missing something. There was something lacking. And this is the first time I don't feel that way,
Mm,
where I have confidence that, yes, I am finally on the path of where I need to be. And I don't feel like I'm lacking. Like, I feel like there's opportunity for growth. There's lots of things that we still want to do. But in my last job, I just felt so drained and I felt like I had things to offer and I had things that I should be doing and I wasn't able to do it, but I couldn't put my finger on. And I finally feel, I just feel like I'm doing the right thing. And I think there is no other way to describe it, but I feel like I'm doing the right thing. And so much of what, we talked about faith, but it's about doing the right thing. And when it's easy for me to make decisions most of the time, as long as I'm not fighting that, because if it doesn't feel like the right thing, then that's a hard no. We were talking
yeah.
a while ago that one company that wanted me to partner with them. And all along I was like, just doesn't feel right, doesn't feel right, doesn't feel right. Finally, I just, like they were kind of like throwing the shiny coin. And I'm like, you know what? This is not it. I just have to respect that, yes, it might be a great opportunity financially, but there's more to my purpose than just making money, right? This is bigger than that. So I'm going to have to pass. And I've passed on at least 3 opportunities
Opportunity.
because it didn't align.
Yeah.
And that feels really good.
Right. I had this conversation with my best friend the other day. I'm 38 and she's 38 as well. And I feel like a lot of us millennials have reached or are reaching. At what point did you have that pivotal aha moment, that moment where it connected for you and you were like, yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Hmm. I'm trying to put my finger on that aha moment. And it probably was when I made the decision to quit my job, actually,
Mhm.
before I even realized that this would work, because I basically made the decision that it had to work.
Yeah.
So I had taken a leave of absence. My health was, it was for my health. I knew that I needed to figure out if there was another way for me to
Mm.
continue practicing medicine, because I was at a point where I was considering leaving medicine and looking for jobs in engineering, seeing if I could get back into engineering, but as like a medical consultant or something. I was on my way out because I was like, I can't keep doing this. This is not worth the price that I have to pay physically, psychologically to continue doing this. It's not what I thought it was going to be. And it's still very, very unclear to me how I stumbled upon direct primary care. I wish I had written all this down along the way, but I took a 3 of absence and I decided during that time period that I did 2 things. I did that coaching program where I learned a lot about entrepreneurship. It was for coaching, but I really learned about self-efficacy and being a business owner. And so that was my big takeaway from that. And that was the starting point. But I was still second guessing it because it wasn't that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't want to be a coach. And
Right.
I was participating in it, but almost begrudgingly. And we've talked about this. Like, I don't like coaching. This is not for me. And even though there's overlap with what I do as a physician in coaching, it's just not the same thing. But I did that and I was like, this isn't it, but maybe this is a bridge to get to what
Right.
is. Turned out it was a bridge. And also during that time period away, I made a list of all of the direct primary care practices that were in West Michigan. I went through and I reached out to all of them and scheduled appointments with them to go meet with them in person, sit with them, talk with them, interview them, check out their offices, learn about what they do and how it works. And in doing all of that, I was doing a lot of data collection, right? Like, my engineering problem solving mind was like also picking apart what makes this practice more successful than this practice.
Mm.
Practice different from that practice. If I have a practice, what aspects do I want to emulate? And they were all very encouraging. And I understand now looking back Like a lot of people do that, but they never actually pull the trigger to start
Right.
a practice. They're like, okay, there's another doctor who's interested, but probably not going to start a practice. So after I visited all those practices, and Dr. Amat was actually the last one that I went to visit. I went to her office, which is now my office. She's med peds trained, just like me. She's the only one I met with who's med peds. Everyone else is family medicine. And she worked for Trinity. She worked for Corewell. The other ones had never worked for any of the healthcare systems. And I saw myself in her.
Mm. And I'm sure that goes both ways because
Yes.
so
Yes.
she had to see a lot of those qualities in you as
Yes.
well.
Yes. And as she and I got, so she and I really, we spent a lot of time communicating back and forth. And I can say she definitely saw herself in me. Like there were just so many things that were just resonated. It was like, I got her. I got
It
her.
was kismet for
Yes.
sure.
In my head, when the decision was made that I was going to buy her practice from her, I had prayed about it. I was on my way to the office, our shared office, and she had already phased out. She was on there a little bit here and there. And I was praying in the car because I had been contemplating for days and days and days. I feel like I need my own space. I want to move into my own space. I'm feeling that pull. Then I said, okay, I haven't prayed about it yet. So I prayed about it. And then I said, okay, after I got done praying, I said, I need to text Dr. Amat. I
Mhm.
didn't say it. I was told to text Dr. Amat. So I texted her
Right.
and I told her about it. Now that could be uncomfortable. The person you're leasing from saying, hey, I want to move. And I said, hey, I'm thinking, I feel like I'm at a point where I want to have my own space. What are your thoughts? And wow, last night I was praying that she was praying for out, basically needed to let go of the business and asking for direction on how to make that happen.
And the crazy part is, I vividly remember us having that conversation. You were saying, I'm thinking about finding my own space. And then you said, this crept up in the back of my mind. And the first thing I always ask, did you talk to Joe? I said, no, I haven't talked to Joe about it. And I asked you if you prayed about it. And you
Right.
said, wow. And the next thing I recall is you telling me that you were purchasing the practice. And I feel like it has been one of the best business decisions that you've made since branching off independently, just because I feel like there's a legacy behind it. Just a nostalgic person, but I feel like you said, is the grandmother of direct primary care in the direction that you're taking it in with your ingenuity. I'm excited to see where direct primary care goes. Yeah, for sure.
I would say, building up all those encounters, even after I started the practice, that exchange between Doctor and I was probably the moment because it was something that I couldn't have imagined in a million years, really. Wow, I'm about to purchase another practice and I'm going to take over this. I'm going to have an employee. I'm going to have all of these things. And I had no idea what I was going to do, how I was going to do it. I just feel like I'm living in a dream. Like I just want to pinch myself. It's just amazing. So getting to help people, and I just love it so much. I just can't say that enough.
Very intentional about all the things that you've chosen to do with the practice. I'm excited to see what the next 2 years look like.
That's probably the one thing I love the most, honestly. I mean, I love taking care of people, but I get to learn and evolve all the time. Consistently at the top of my list of things that drive me is the pursuit of knowledge.
And one of the things that I thought to myself when you first decided to embark on the journey of having your own practice is, how does one go from practicing physician to full-fledged business owner? Like in less than 2 years, you started managing your own rental space. You're about to bring on another physician. How changing those hats, putting on those different pairs of shoes, what did you have to learn, or what is the first thing that became the most apparent to you as far as having to learn or retrain yourself when you decided to pick up that entrepreneurial hat to be a business owner?
So the coaching program that I did in the beginning, working with Kimmy in the Doctor Coach School, I did an interview on her podcast about this. And what I learned from that, I was able to parlay into this. I had to see myself as a business owner. Early on in that process of doing the coaching, I was still seeing myself as the doer, right? The executor, the coach, the doctor. And I hadn't transitioned to seeing myself as an entrepreneur. And the first turning point was hiring my first hire. So hiring someone else to do things for me and trusting someone to take tasks and do them and being responsible for training someone and creating a vision. When I had to move it outside of me, where I wasn't the only one in the business, And once you add someone else to the business, it's almost like a hobby when it's just you. Business when someone else is reliant on you for everything. And so when I brought on Doris, and Doris has been with me from day one, when I first started dabbling, if you will, being a business owner, and hiring her was the first turning point where I had to learn trial by fire how to be I really learned what it meant to be a business owner, because then I relinquished my social media to her. And I just got comfortable leaving things up to her, saying, okay, we need this done. Can you execute it? And that was a huge turning point for me. Huge. Then the second one was the photo shoot. So my very first photo shoot, I don't know what it was about that, but psychological transition where I was capturing photos of me as a business owner for marketing. So now I'm looking at it from a perspective of now I need professional photography. So the more things I did that I felt me as a business owner, where I was doing the thing, I wasn't just doing them, but I was executing on them. It just forced me to see myself in a different light. So now I'm like, I'm paying someone to do branding for me. I'm paying someone to do photography for me. I'm paying someone to do my social media. So when I started paying someone else to do things for my business, that's when it became real. Then I started looking at it differently.
Yeah. It's your baby.
You need to have a team, even if that team is one other person.
Mm.
It helps to have accountability, to have another person who understands the inner workings of what you're doing and why you do it.
Yeah.
Help you stay on track, to help you, to execute, and just accountability. And then also, again, it makes it real than you can ever be.
There's some good excerpts in there. I think there's some good excerpts on you as a direct primary care physician, especially on your 2-year anniversary, how you've gotten to this point. Because 2 years, I remember, and I'm not going to say that you've ever been doubtful, but there were moments where you doubted yourself. You didn't let it stick. You weren't pessimistically doubtful. You were just like, oh, a moment of doubt, a moment of uncertainty. But I'm just so proud of you. I never doubted for one moment, but it's just to see you doing so with such confidence. And the best part is it's not arrogant. It's not a matter of being pompous. You know what you're capable of, and you know what's inside of you. And you've been able to harness that and share it, not just with your patients, but with other direct primary care physicians. So I'm excited to see where the next 2 years go, because what the kids do, you've eaten it up, okay? You killed it. You have killed it.
This has been another episode of The Lifestyle MD. Special thank you to Lou Musa for the show theme music, created with Bree Photography, and makeup by Janae for the cover photo. And if you enjoyed this podcast and you haven't already, please subscribe today and share with another person who may benefit. You may also follow me on Instagram at Angela Lifestyle MD. I am Dr. Angela. Thank you for joining me today.